Is that all right? Okay, right, so good morning. What I'd like you to do is to start lying down. If you could have one of those balls handy, just the one, that would be great. And also, sorry, I should have said, a yoga brick. So one of those, the ones, not the flat blocks, the slightly bigger bricks, if you can. But you could use a ball instead. So it's to put underneath the pelvis. And then what I'd like you to do is just to lie down, please. Simple as that. But you can have your ball nearby. Okay. So if you lie yourself down, bend your knees and don't just sort of lie down and accept that this is the position. What I'd like you to do is to adjust your shoulder position so you feel your shoulder blades are really flat. And then just lift the hips up a tiny bit and then try and extend your lower back down. And just sort of wriggle until you feel that your feet nice and wide so you can really use your feet to help you move the body. So before we do anything, you really are settling, and then a little bit of an exaggerated arch in your back, but then you settle your back down. And just notice how that feels. It might feel terrible, hopefully it doesn't. But just see how it feels. And all I'd like you to do is to walk your feet in towards each other and then just move, not lifting the feet up, move your knees from side to side. So just move those knees from side to side. We're just doing a little bit of loosening up before we start to work the core. So your knees are going from side to side. Your feet can roll onto their outside and inner edges. And that's all we're doing at the moment. So you're not going all the way down to the floor, just going to the point where you first detect the stretch, and you will lift one glute off the floor. So the bottom lifts off the floor, but only on one side. And just feel that loosening up happening in the body, but keep the shoulders down. You can start to make the movement a little bit bigger now. So the movement gets a little bit bigger, but keep the shoulders down. So it's almost like you're going into a reclined twist, but with like a little bit of a back arch going on one side. So one side of your body is like going into a normal twist, the other side is doing a little bit of a back arch. So you're now at the sort of full range of motion within this possibility, knees going out to the side. And just sort of pausing there, introducing a pause as you take the knees over to the side. It's quite good. Sometimes you get these little adjustments in the spine when you do this, so it's quite useful just to start off there. And then what I'd like you to do is come back into the middle. You can now walk your feet a little bit wider, lift up the pelvis, settle it down again. Hands come to the abdomen, and what I'd like you to do is just to start to take some breaths into the belly. Now I said to have a ball handy, and there was a reason for that. So what I'd like you to do is to actually, if you don't have to do this, but it is quite helpful, a little exercise of having a ball resting on your tummy. Now you may not have the kind of tummy where you can actually rest a ball there without it falling off. So use your hands to steady it if you want to, just a fingertip touch. The hand, generally, it's onto the belly button. And then you can breathe into the belly, but you can sense it more. So keeping the ribs nice and still, taking an inhale. And then push the tummy up into the ball. And then as you exhale, let it fall down again. And just take some breaths there. So inhaling, you could use your hands instead to create a little bit of resistance to press up into. Just a few more like that. Keep breathing, letting the ball rise up, and then exhaling, letting it fall down. Do two more like that. Just getting used to abdominal breathing with the ribs still. And then what I'd like you to do is to introduce more of a core engagement on the exhale. So the inhale is the same. Press the ball away, and then as you exhale, try and really draw in. So it's like you're trying to make the ball touch your spine, which is a bit disconcerting, but then keep going with it. So inhaling, and then exhaling. But try and really let the ball help you find that hollowing out in the tummy, that core engagement. 3 more times. So it's really simple. The ball is there to help you, not to make it harder. The next time you take the exhale, what I'd like you to do is to hold the not hold the exhale, hold the core engagement. So now this, again, it's going to help you, she says. It's going to help you. What I'd like you to do is to breathe, but keep the core engaged. So then the breath has to come into the rib cage. So with your fingertips lightly touching the ball, try and keep the ball as still as possible as you let the ribs flare upwards and outwards. So let that ball help you keep your mind tethered to the core engagement. So just a few more of those. You're breathing, but you're maintaining the tummy, the core or abdominal engagement. And then the next time you exhale, we can set that ball out of the way. Just breathe freely for a moment. Let the back arch as you inhale, so you get to stretch the tummy. And then as you exhale, you flatten the back and tuck the tailbone. So again, inhale to arch, tilting the pelvis forward, and then exhale to flatten. So you're also soothing your lower back. Inhale to arch. I think when I've done that practice first, I always feel much freer in my lower back when I'm doing this particular bit. So just notice if it feels any different to you. Inhale to arch, tilt the pelvis forward, and then as you exhale, flatten. Now take the hands behind the head to interlace. As you inhale, arch your back, tilt the pelvis forward. As you exhale, we're just warming up. So you're going to lift the head and the shoulders up and look towards your knees or your thighs. And lower yourself down, inhale to arch, and then exhale to flatten, lifting, looking forward. Again, lower yourself down, again, inhale to arch, and then exhale, flatten, lifting, looking up, looking forward. 2 more times, inhale to arch, and then exhale to flatten, looking forward. 1 more time, inhale to arch, and then exhale, lift. Look forward, lift as high as you can, take your left arm forward. Now set the abdominals first, your back is pressing down into the floor, and then do your little side shift. Holding there, you're trying to lift your shoulders up as high as you can, holding steady there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back into the middle, slowly release the head and the shoulders down, arch your back, again it's just to sort of release the abdominals. Lift the head and the shoulders up as high as you can, take your left arm forward, and then do that little side bend there again. Keep tucking the tailbone, keep lengthening into the lower back as you hold for 5, 4, 3, that's it, 2, 1, come back into the middle, and then again, lower the head and the shoulders down, and arch your back. Now go on 3 times on the diagonal, so as you lift up, twist to the left, touch your left knee to your right elbow if you can reach, and then lower the foot, the head and the shoulders down. Arching your back, and then again lifting and twisting to the right, elbow into the knee, lower the foot, the head and the shoulders down. Again, arch your back. As you exhale, lift, twist to the left, elbow and knee connecting if possible, lower the foot, the head and the shoulders down. Arching your back, lifting, twisting to the right, elbow and knee again, touch, lower down. Inhale to arch. As you exhale, lift, twist to the left 1 more time, elbow to knee, good, lower down. Inhale, arching, exhale, lift, twist to the right, lower down. Same thing, but slightly different. You're going to lift up, go to the left, touch your knee if possible, or bring your left knee towards your right elbow. Now what I'd like to do is extend that left leg and the right arm. Remember doing this before. So you're just holding there for a moment and then put the hand behind the head, bend the knee, lower the foot, the head and the shoulders down. Arch your back. So you can always stick with what we were doing before. You're going to twist towards the right. Either stay here or straighten your right leg up towards the ceiling and straighten your left arm. Left arm is on the outside of your right leg. Bend the elbow and the knee at the same time, supporting the head, lower the foot, the head and the shoulders down. Arching your back, going to repeat that. So you're lifting up, twisting to the left, elbow to knee, extend both the arm and the leg. Rebend, lower down, arching your back, and then lifting, twisting to the right, extend both your right leg and your left arm, and then rebend both of them. Take the foot, the head and the shoulders to the floor. One more of those. Inhale, exhale, lift, twist to the left, straighten your left leg and your right arm, rebend both of them, take the foot, the head and the shoulders down, arching your back again, lifting, twisting to the right, straighten the arm and the leg, rebend, take the foot and the head and the shoulders to the floor, arch your back. We're going to add on, so you're going to lift, twist, this is the last bit, twist to the left, straighten your right arm and your left leg. Now hold there as you just explore the option of lifting your right toes off the floor. That might be enough, or straighten your right leg to hover off the floor. Holding there. So really lengthen. When you do the straight, both legs straight, you can really feel a sense of lengthening, splitting the legs apart. Rebend everything and then lower down to the floor. Arch your back. So we're keeping the head supported. Twist towards the right, straighten your right leg and your left arm, and then option to straighten your left leg as well. Hovering there. It's all about having the lower back on the floor though. Holding, rebend everything, lower the foot, the head and the shoulders to the floor. Arch your back, lifting up, twisting to the left, straighten your left leg and your right arm, and then maybe pick up your right leg and straighten it, but it's not on the floor. Split the legs apart and then rebend both of your legs, bend the elbow, lower yourself down to the floor. Arch your back, lifting, twisting to the right, straighten your right leg and your left arm, and then take your left leg along the floor, but it's hovering along the floor, just off the floor. So rebend both of the legs, rebend the elbow, lower down. One more round. Inhale to arch, lifting, twist to the left, straighten your left leg and your right arm, and then maybe take your right leg along the floor, but hovering it if you can. Return your right foot to the floor, rebending it, rebend the left leg, rebend the elbow, arch your back. Last one, lifting, twisting to the right, straighten, so much to say, straighten your right leg, your left arm, and then maybe pick up your left leg and hover it across the floor. Rebend everything, lower the foot, the head and the shoulders down to the floor. Walk your feet nice and wide. Hands can stay behind the head. It's a good thing to have the hands behind the head here, and just drop the knees over to the left. Just take a moment to stretch the tummy. So breathing into this abdominal area, which might feel like it's just, hopefully it feels like it's just been used. And then lifting up and then take the knees over to the right. Again, just see how that feels. A couple of really good breaths there. Still on the abdominals. So that was a little bit more side. So we're going to go back into the center. What I'd like you to do is to take the hands from behind the head, bring the knees in towards the chest, and then you're going to set the knees above the hips and lift your shins up. Hands on the thighs, just above the knees. Now with this, if just to remind you, the closer in your knees are, the easier this is. The further your knees are away, the harder it is. Ideally, you want your knees roughly above your hips. Okay, but it's all about being able to press your lower back down into the floor. So we're going to do this 2 different ways. First way, we just flat on the floor. Hands on the thighs. Take an inhale. As you exhale, press your lower back down into the floor. Press the hands into the thighs and the thighs into the hands. Holding there. So you've got resistance, push-pull resistance. Holding there for 5. Back is down on the floor. 4. Shoulders and head as relaxed as you can be. 3 and 2 and 1. Bring the knees into the chest and just gently rock from side to side for a moment. We're going to do that again. Same thing. So hands, knees above the hips, hands on the thighs. Take an inhale. As you exhale, press the hands down into the, press the back down into the floor. Press the hands into the thighs and the thighs into the hands. Holding there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knees into the chest. Rock from side to side for a moment. Now what I'd like to do is we're going to do the version where you let your hands win and you let your legs win. So effectively the knees move away, then the knees come in. Just be careful that you keep your back, you don't go so far that you lose the release of your back down to the floor. So hands on the thighs again, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, press the lower back down to the floor, press the hands into the thighs and the thighs into the hands. Now think about your back, don't really think too much about what the arms and the legs are doing, just try and press your hands a little bit more into the legs than the legs are pressing into the hands, but the legs are still pressing into the hands. So you let your hands win and then you let your legs win. So you start to push your legs into the resistance of the hands, but the legs win so the knees come forward. And then do it again, so your back is down on the floor as you slowly press your legs away, but the legs are trying to press in to make it harder for you. And then you bring your legs in, but as you bring your legs in, you actually let the legs win completely and just draw the knees into the chest and just rock from side to side. We're going to do that again. Quite a good core one. So hands on the knees or just on the thighs above the knees. Lift your shins up, take an inhale. As you exhale, press the lower back down to the floor. Press the hands into the knees and the knees into the hands. Holding there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. But keep going. So now let your hands win. And then let your legs win. Now let your hands win, so 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then let your legs win, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, knees to the chest, rock from side to side. Well done. Okay, so now the next bit is we're going to have, you could, if I just explain what, if you have the ball under the back of the pelvis, it's the hard version. If you're thinking, well, I'm not sure about that, then you could use a block underneath the back of the pelvis, but just make sure it's not on the lower back, so it's definitely waistband and below. What we're going to do is we're going to have the knees above the hips again, okay, in this position. Is that okay? So what do we do? So just explore. I'm going to go for the harder version. Put the ball, maybe, underneath the lower back, and then just explore how stable it is to have your feet off the floor and your knees above your hips. If it's just ridiculously wobbly today, maybe go for the block instead. So your hands are going to touch your knees. Now we're going to take the same leg and the same arm away from each other. So we're not going on opposites or anything like that at the moment. So what I'd like to do is to steady yourself. So you've chosen a ball or a yoga block, just to elevate the hips. It helps keep the lower back on the floor, keep your core tucked in. Nice and steady, and then slowly begin to move your right arm and your right leg away from each other, extending. Take the arm and the leg up towards the ceiling to reach for the ankle. Take the arm and the leg away You have to move quite slowly on the balance, and then bring the hand and the knee together so you're back where you started. You have to move quite slowly. So again, so now you do the left side. So take the arm and the leg, left arm, left leg away from the center line. Reach them up for the ceiling. Try and touch the ankle with your fingers. Extend away from the center line again, arm and leg straight, left arm and left leg straight. And then bring them back to that starting position, this little kind of dead bug position. Do it again. So right leg this time, take the right leg and the right arm away, reach them up for the ceiling, finding your balance, really find that center, take the arm and the leg away, reaching away, and then bring them in, hand to knee. Left leg, left arm go away, left leg, left arm reach up for the ceiling, try and touch the ankle, take the arm and the leg away, and then knee and hand touch. One more side, one more time on each side. Right leg, right arm goes away. Reach it up for the ceiling. Try and touch the ankle and the foot together. Take the arm and the leg away. And then come back to that starting position, hands on the knees. Left leg, left arm away. Reach it up for the ceiling. Touching the ankle, take the arm and the leg away, and then come back into that middle starting position. Draw the knees in towards the chest for a really nice back stretch for a moment. So with something underneath your pelvis, the legs come in much closer in towards your body. So just stay there for a moment, and then take the feet to the floor. Going to lift up off the ball, but keep hold of the ball or block, it will do the same. Now put the ball between your knees. And we do dynamic twists, but with the ball between the knees. So let the arms go out to the side, lift your shins up. Don't go over too far too fast, it's going to build up. So you take an inhale, take the knees over to the left, about a third of the way, what you judge as being a third of the way. Arms on the floor, come up to the middle, and then take them over to the right, again about a third of the way. Come back to the middle. Now try and go about half of the way over, so a little bit further. Come back into the middle, and then over to the right. Come back into the middle. Now do that again, but be aware of how much you're using your arms. So try and use your arms less and your core more. Go over to the right, think arms less, core more. Go over to the left, try and not use your arms but keep the shoulders grounded. Go over to the right, least possible use of your arms as you come up to the middle. Again, go over to the left, coming up to the middle, go over to the right, come up to the middle. Now go over to the left and stay there. If it's too strong, just relax into a twist here. If you can, I'd like to hover the legs off the floor, holding for 5, 4, squeeze the ball, 3, 2, and 1, up to the middle, and then over towards the right, again holding there, but try and squeeze into the ball, so your right leg is pushing upwards. Squeeze into the ball, use the arms as little as possible for another 2, 1, come up to the center, take the ball out of the way. Draw the knees in towards the chest, rock from side to side, and then I'm going to come up from there. So you don't have to rock up, you can go onto your side. If it feels comfortable, I'd like to try and do a few rocks. You're going down to the shoulders or up to the shoulders to sitting. Shoulders to sitting, just see how it goes. Couple more, try and roll on the back. You might not have done it for a couple of weeks, so just roll. And then the next time you come up, take the feet to the floor. Get your ball again, I'm using the ball a lot, put the ball between your knees. Take the hands behind your knees and lift the chest up. Take an inhale And then squeeze into the ball as you do a little roll down. Only go far as feels comfortable for you, taking the back of the pelvis to flat and then come back up again. Again, rolling down. You don't have to go very far. You can use your arms, coming up. Again, going down and then come up. Now try and go hands free. So alternatively, you're still using your hands. So going down, squeeze into the ball, come up. Roll down, squeeze into the ball and come up. Again, down, squeeze into the ball to come up. Lift your shins up. You've got boat pose now, but with a ball between your knees. So holding there for 5, 4, squeeze, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your feet. Just grab hold of the ball, but keep it close by. Let your knees go out to the side and just drop yourself forward in the normal way we do. Just to give your hip flexors a break. Just see how it feels. And then come up and get hold of your ball. Good. So what I'd like you to do is you're going to find you've got your hands, the ball has got the hands now. Come up into boat pose. What I'd like you to do is to take your arms up into the air with the ball between your hands. Lower yourself down a little bit. You're going to more of a low boat position. And then come up and then put the ball on your ankles and stay there. So you've got a little bit, so if it's too strong, take the ball away. Just try and balance the ball on your ankles. Holding there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Grab hold of the ball. Take the ball up into the air. Whoops. Take the ball up into the air in your boat pose. Take the ball forward as you go into your low boat position. Come back up into boat. Balance the ball on your shins or your ankles for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Grab hold of the ball. Take the ball up into the air. So you're in boat. Take the ball forward as you straighten your legs a little bit, low boat. Come back up. Balance, last one. Balance the ball on your ankles, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take that ball out of the way, lower the feet down to the floor, let your knees go wide and rest forward. Now we're just going to do one more boat pose but with nothing on it, and hopefully it will feel a lot easier, but it is the last one. So come up. Now see how boat, we might have gone too far, but to see how boat pose feels now. So no ball anywhere, just fine boat pose, holding there. 5, lifting the chest, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your feet to the floor. Take the hands back behind you. Now, if your wrists are a bit sensitive to being turned with the fingers facing forward, turn your fingers to face outwards and it should feel a little bit more comfortable. If it feels okay to have your fingers facing towards your feet and your bottom, please do that. So I'm going to lift up, arching your back. Don't have to lift up at all, but you can lift up. Coming up into tabletop, holding here. So then what we're going to do is you're going to lower your hips down, but not take them to the floor. So you lower your hips down and then start to bend your elbows backwards. So you're just working into the arms, straighten your arms and lift the hips. Now lower the hips again. Bend your elbows, just sort of, so it's like a sling, and then straighten your arms and lift your hips. Again, lower your hips down, bend your elbows, straighten your arms, lift your hips. 2 more times, lower your hips, bend your elbows, straighten your elbows, lift your hips. Last one, lower your hips, bend your elbows, straighten your arms, lift and hold. Hold there. So you're looking forward. I don't like throwing my head back at all. So look, I would suggest you look forward, but you could look up if you prefer. Holding for another 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. And then lower yourself down. Good. So you can either cross your legs and lift up and over to come onto your hands and knees, or you can take your legs out to the side. What I'd like you to do is to stretch your hands, take the knees below your hips, push down into your hands and take your chest forward. Just stay there for a moment, so really engaging into the core, lifting between your shoulder blades. Draw the chest forward a little bit more, and then tuck the toes round the back, allow the chin to come to the chest, and then inhale, come forward. Again, tuck the toes, round the back, chin to the chest. Inhale, come forward. One more time, take an inhale as you exhale. Tuck the toes round the back, look towards your knees, and then maybe hover the knees off the floor, literally an inch off the floor. Holding there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly, softly lower the knees. Take your chest forward, relax the feet. And again, tuck the toes round the back, chin to the chest, look towards your knees, hover your knees off the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your knees, relax the feet, draw the chest forward. If you've got it in you with your wrist, we do it once more. So you could just do cat stretch instead. Round the back, hover the knees off the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your knees, relax the feet. Take child pose for just a moment, so principally to relax your hands. So just maybe shake your hands or rub your hands, whatever you need to do. So dropping the head down. And then what I'd like you to do is take your arms forward again, just stretching the arms. But this time you're going to move your hips forward. So we're going to do a puppy dog. So you stretch your arms forward, keep the bottom in the air. Now see how your shoulders feel. If this is already really hard, what I would do is I suggest you come up, you get either the ball or the block, put it where your head is going to go. So then you can have some support with the head. So it makes it a lot easier, a lot more accessible. And it allows you to relax a bit more into it. So puppy dog can be done many ways. What I'd like to do is try and get the hips above your knees, walk your hands forward, and then begin to drop your chest. Look towards your knees, drop the head down so you can really get into a sort of good aligned position. So you're resting on the top of the forehead. And then either stay here or put something under your head if you need it. Or if you're quite comfortable, what I'd like to do is pick up your head and then start to do cat stretch. So you drop your chest down and you look forward. We've done this before. And then you tuck your tailbone and you look towards your knees or your thighs. So you rise up there and then you drop down on the inhale, arching your back, bottom sticks up in the air, looking forward. And then you curl, looking towards your knees or your thighs. Again, drop your chest, look forward. And then tuck the tailbone, look towards your knees or your thighs. Come into a neutral position, taking the head to the floor. Then walk your hands in towards your head and then come up. All right? Everyone's like, yeah. So either kneel up or kneel down. So either kneeling up or kneel down. Toes tucked possibly, if you can do it. It feels okay. And then just sit up for a moment. Just give the shoulders a little bit of a movement. We're going to do a bit into the shoulders. So start to roll your shoulders. Now you can be kneeling up, you can be kneeling down. If you take your hands behind the head and just move the elbows forward and then let the elbows go out to the side. And then take the elbows forward, slightly curling in. So a little bit cat curl. And then let the elbows go wide, cat arch. Again, curling in, tucking the tailbone a little tiny bit. And then arching the back, tilting the pelvis forward. Come into a neutral position. Drop the arms down. Just again, roll your shoulders. So we're going to do the side bending. So this is like a little bit on the toes. We're going to do side bending now in that up kneeling position. Now, if you would like to, what I would do is I would suggest that you straighten your right leg first. So you're going to have the ball in your left hand if you have opted to use a ball. I would tuck your left toes. And so you just set yourself up like that. We've done this before. So you've got nice grip on that ball. Take your right arm up into the air and then just think about, so you're tucking your tailbone and engaging into your core. So the front side is shortening, the back side is long and stable in the pelvis. Take an inhale there, and then as you exhale, just hover your left hand off the floor, but you're reaching it forward. So you can see, if you're not sure, I think it all looks good, but if I can't see some of your arms, but if your arms should be at 180 degrees from each other. That's it. And then take the hand down to the floor. Let your top arm go over past the ear and just lift up, lift the side ribs there. And then set yourself up again to do it again. So you take an inhale, spread your arms, and then hover that lower hand off the floor with the ball. If it's too strong, don't use a weighted ball. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hand. Take the arm over past the ear again, just for a rest. We'll do it one more time. This time you won't come down from it, you'll go up. So into gate pose. So lifting up. Now keep the tailbone long, keep the core really strong as you hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come upright. Good. Drop your hand down onto the straight leg, letting your left arm go up into the air. Now, as you take the side bend, just slightly bend your right knee, just slightly. And it should allow you to just get more stretch. Just a little bit more out of that stretch. Now, you're in a side bend at the moment. What I'm going to ask you to do is to turn your shoulders towards your right foot as you reach your right hand towards your right, or in the direction of the right foot. And then you go again back into the side bend. So try that again. So take an inhale. If it's too much, if it feels a bit strong, get rid of the ball. So you're in a side bend, and then you twist your upper body towards the right, reaching that ball towards the right. And then go back into your side bend one more time. So you're reaching, twisting, reaching your right shoulder toward, left shoulder towards the right. Come back into that side bend position and then come all the way up. You might want to review the comfort of your knees for a moment. So if you want to find something to cushion your knee, do that now. And then we're going to do the other side. So it's good to have both your knee and the extended leg foot on your mat. So you're using the, making use of the sticky mat. So set yourself up. You should be on your right knee, left leg extended. The hand is on the ball. So right hand on the ball. That's it. You don't have to use a ball. So think, before we begin, I'd like you to really consciously shorten the front of the body, shorten between your ribs and your hips, and then think long in your lower back, long and stable. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to lift that right arm off the floor, holding there for 5. That's good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly just lower that ball. It's not a massive movement. Take the arm over past the ear, lift the side ribs. And then again, set yourself up. Think short in the front body, long in the back body, holding there. Stretch the arms out wide for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. Take the arm over past the ear. Great. One more time. Arm stretch. Engage into the core. Stabilize as you pick up the hand off the floor, reaching it forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up. Good. Now, as you go into gate pose, I'd like you just to soften. You don't have to, but I would recommend you soften the straight leg. Taking the arm over past you, feel a really nice side bend. So at the moment, your shoulders should be in line. Now you're going to start to reach your right arm forward towards the left foot. So it's just a little bit of a movement going into the back, and then go back into your side bend. So again, reach your right shoulder forward towards the left. So you're trying to put the ball in the most awkward of positions over on the shelf on the left side. And then back into your side. One more time, reaching. So really using every bit of the side line of your core. Side, coming up, onto your knees. Just stay there for a moment. That's it. So drop the ball. Now the thing that's really nice to do after that is downward facing dog. So place the hands on the floor. Take your time. It's going to feel lovely. So push down into your hands, round the back, look towards your knees, hover your knees off the floor, but then move your body back into downward facing dog and just stretch, 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 stretch. Alternately bending the knees. See how your body feels, just twisting into your body. Anything that feels really good there, do it. Sliding your feet slightly further away, you can come forward into plank. And then from plank, you can go back into downward facing dog, but stay long. Again, come forward into plank, push the floor away, chest moves forward, back into downward facing dog. One more time, forward into plank, engaging into the core, back into downward facing dog. Now this time you're going to go down to the floor. So you can drop your knees or you can lower yourself down, so chaturanga, but you're not going to hover, you're going to go down really super slow down to the floor. So let's do it together. So if you're not already down on if you're not in plank, come back into plank. And we're going to go down, count of 10. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, start to lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you're down. Move everything out of the way as you get down onto your tummy. Take your left arm forward, supporting your head in your right hand. Lift up the head and the chest, your right leg and your left arm. And then just hold there for a moment. Try and lengthen though. So you're lengthening and then lifting. And then swap to the other arm. So right arm, lift up the head and the chest. Lift up your left leg and your right arm, holding there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Swap. We're going to do a little bit of shoulder mobilization as well. So lifting up the head and the chest. Right leg, left arm. Now stay exactly as you are, but turn your left palm to face down. Take the arm out to the side, start to roll the shoulder forward, bending the elbow, and then tap your left fingertips onto your right shoulder blade, or in that direction. And then release the arm, rolling the shoulder out as you take the arm forward, and then drop the head down. Swap the arms around. Same thing on the other side. So you lift up the head and the chest, lift up your left leg and your right arm. So you're staying there. You could stay here, or you turn the palm down, right palm down, take the arm out to the side, roll your shoulder forward so you can bend the elbow, and then try and tap your left shoulder blade with your right fingertips. Release the arm out to the side, rolling the shoulder, arm goes forward, and you drop down. Swap the arms again. So you're lifting up the head and the chest, right leg, left arm, nice and high. Take your left arm out to the side, rolling the shoulder forward. Bend the elbow, touching your right shoulder blade, and then you take the arm forward and release yourself down. Last time, lift up the head and the chest, your left leg, your right arm. Now take your right arm out to the side, rolling the shoulder, try and tap the opposite shoulder blade, see how it feels, and then you reach the arm forward and relax down. Move the hips from side to side. Good, so now we're going to try and do both arms together. Yay! So they're going to be doing Gomakasana, which is where one arm is up and one arm is down. It's going to be slow, I can tell you that now. So what I'd like you to do is to set yourself up. Let's have the right arm forward and then the left arm up your back. Okay? So then, if you lift up your head and your chest, lift up both legs, not very high. Lift up your right arm. So already we're doing quite a lot. So now what I'd like you to do is, as you take your right arm out to the side, you're going to release your left arm so that your left arm goes forward and your right arm is now touching your left shoulder blade. And then see if you can take it the other way. So it's like you're doing Gomakasana. We're not quite doing Gomakasana with the front arm, but we're doing it almost. Try it again. So you're going to swap the arms around, so the left arm is forward, the right arm is up the back. And then the other way, right arm is forward, the left arm is up the back. And then just relax down for a moment, release both of your arms, roll your hips or rock your hips from side to side. Now I'd like to try and do the whole thing. Again, it's a lot on the back, so just see how it feels. The whole thing is not vastly different. The only difference is that your both of the arms are bent. So if you start off with your right arm forward, your left arm up your back, lift up the head and the chest and the legs, lift up your right arm. Now bend your right elbow and try and touch your fingertips. So you're going to need to look down and then release the arms. One arm goes forward, one arm goes, well, they both go out to the side and they change position. So now your left arm, left elbow is forward, your right elbow is facing down towards your feet. Try it again. So you're going Gomakasana arms. Just have a go coming into it. You don't have to touch the fingers. Release. Take the left arm is going to be the forward one or the top one. The right arm is up the back. And then finish off where you started. Right arm is forward, left arm is back. Release the arms out to the side and then take the hands underneath your head. Move your feet, your hips from side to side. What I'd like to do now is next we're going to do a little bit on the hips. So if you come into Sphinx pose, not so much on the back now, just Sphinx pose. So forearms parallel, elbows underneath the shoulders, push down into your hands, drawing the chest forward, tucking the tailbone. Just holding there for a moment. So with a core awareness, push your forearms down to the floor. Try and slide your elbows back towards your hips, but without moving, because use the sticky mat. So just feel the chest moving forward. Holding there. And then what I'd like you to do is you're going to slide your right knee out to the side, but stay in the same position. Stay in Sphinx pose. You just happen to have your right knee out to the side. Pick up your right foot, rolling on along the thigh. So it's as if as you pick up your right foot, you're rolling onto the front of your thigh. Try and keep equal weight in the forearms. Do it again. Pick up the foot, roll onto the, roll the hip forward. Pick up the foot for one more time. And then drop it down. Stay as you are, but lift up your right elbow. Take your left arm just behind your right wrist. Come onto your left shoulder, going into a twist. Resting on the left side of the face. Keep your right knee bent, and then let your right arm go up towards the ceiling and then out to the side. And what's really nice to do is to actually weigh down your right knee with your left hand. But you're trying to get your right shoulder down on the floor. Just holding there. So recline twist, nice and simple. And then you're going to come out of there. So you come out the way you came in, lifting your right arm up towards the ceiling. Straighten your right leg as you return into Sphinx pose. Draw the chest forward. Tuck the tailbone, engaging into the core. Now take your left leg out to the side. Holding there for a moment, so getting used to that position. Either stay here or pick up your left foot, rolling onto the front of the thigh, and then drop the foot down. So again, you might prefer to have a bit of padding underneath that knee. So lifting up the left foot, and then drop the foot down. Lift up the left foot, and drop it down one more time. So rolling onto the front of the thigh, and then drop it down. Stay there. If it's really uncomfortable, obviously I'm not going to ask you to stay, but just see how it feels. Lifting up your left elbow this time, and then feed your right arm underneath, dropping your right shoulder down. Come onto the right side of the face, and then start to take your left arm up towards the ceiling, and then out, both arms out to the side, but you could have your right arm on your left knee, just to give a little bit more power or leverage into the twist. So holding there, try and get your left shoulder down. Now if it feels that your left knee is not high enough, or it's too high, adjust the position so it feels really good in your body. And then what I'd like to do is going to come out. So we're going to go back in Sphinx pose. Lifting up your left arm, straighten your left leg as you come out. So you're back in Sphinx pose. Once you're back in Sphinx pose, drop yourself down, all the way down. Take your arms out to the side. Got one more twist to do. Arms out to the side. You're going to bend your left elbow. So your both arms are out to the side, palms facing down. Look towards the left, bend your left elbow. And then roll onto your right side. So this is working into the front of your right shoulder. Now, initially you might find it quite hard, so you might want to have your left knee forward. Just make sure you get the chest out of the way. If you can, stack your hips and your legs. If it's easy, you can take your left foot back behind you. So effectively it's like you're turning your pelvis up towards the ceiling. You can stay there. You can have the left hand to help you with the leverage, or the left hand can go onto your left thigh or the left hip, doesn't really matter. And just breathe. Make sure that the palm of your right hand is on the floor. And then coming out, we're going to do the same thing again on the other side. So the left arm goes out to the side, and then just move the chest out of the way as you roll onto your left side. So either your right knee is forward if it's very, very tight and you want to work gently, or you're stacking your hips, or you're taking that right foot back behind you, knee up into the air, and then maybe you can take your right hand onto your right hip. So then in that opens up the possibility of squeezing your shoulder blades together. So just holding there. And then releasing out of that. You're taking the hands underneath the shoulders, and just move yourself back into child pose for a moment. So just stretching the back. Once you're there, or once it feels a little bit easier, a bit more settled, come up to kneeling, and then go onto your right hip and take the legs forward. So like in a side seated position. Hands, I'm just moving, so I've got my hands on the mat. So side seated position, then you're just going to move your feet from side to side, but not particularly quickly. So when you're doing this, one hip is going into internal rotation and the other hip is going into external rotation. So you just want to try and really work into the hips, feel the hips moving, but without too much discomfort. So leaning back into the hands for now, just one leg, drop one knee down, opening up the hip. Hips, it's both of them. So try and get the knees to actually touch the floor. So that's the next bit. Try and get the knees to touch the floor each time you go from side to side. Just noticing if one of the knees is like not playing ball. So then you can either stay there, or this is where you might find you move on your mat. But you can take your hands up off the floor. So then you're going to try and put both knees on the floor, transition, and then put both knees on the floor. Just go from side to side, but both knees, if possible, or to the best that you can, both knees go to the floor. Engaging into the core, particularly in the transition from one side to the other. So both knees on the floor, slow transition to both knees on the floor. Yeah? And if you move, I'm moving. It's annoying when you move, but anyway, try and reduce how much you're moving. As you lift the knee up, the leading knee, you have to kind of move that hip back. So think, as you lift up a knee, move that hip back. And that stops it. It's the leading knee, it's that hip that goes forward. So next time you go over towards the right, stay there. And then twist. We're going to do that long spiraling twist. You're going to twist towards your right thigh. Both hands forward of your right thigh. Equal spacing between the hands and the thigh. Start to twist towards your right hand. If you want to, you can take your left forearm to the floor, tuck the tailbone, engage into the core, and twist. And just noticing that spiraling in the body. Try and take a few good breaths there. And then coming up, and we're going to do the same thing again on the other side. So you're lifting up and over, and then you twist towards the left thigh. If you can, this is the optional bit, is to take your right forearm to the floor. It might feel too strong, in which case don't. Tuck the tailbone, engage into the core. Look towards your left hand and hold. And then again, coming up. If you take both of your feet together now, just let your knees drop out. And then lean forward slowly. So not actively forcing your body down. Just let your body reach its maximum stretch point. So moving the head towards your feet. But remain comfortable. So finally we get to slow down the breath. And just notice how you feel. Finally you come up. And then go for whichever is your better cross-legged position. So if you've got, for example, a tenderness in your right knee, you would have your right shin forward. Or tightness in your right hip, your right shin would be forward. So just try and see how that feels, settling the legs, and then let the hands rest on your knees or your thighs, and just extend the spine up as you drop your shoulders down. And just staying there for a moment, nice and still. Allowing the chin to slowly drop, but without the chest dropping. So keep the chest lifting, drawing the ribs in, drawing the tummy in. Feel some length coming to the side of the waist, even though you're in the seated position. So that side of the waist, front of the abdomen, back is supporting. Take the hands to heart center in prayer position, blink the eyes open, and then really slowly lifting up the gaze. Well done. Namaste. Well done. I hope that was all right. Did quite a lot. You all right?
Thank you, Emma.
Is that all right?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Emma.
Good. Good.
Thanks, Emma. Thank you, Mum.
Bye, Sarah.
Thank you.
Bye, Isla. See you soon. Bye,
Bye.
Catherine. See you
Bye.
soon.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye, Jilly.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye. Bye, Bridget.